Imagine stepping off a dock, strapping into a lightweight backpack, and suddenly, you're 30 feet above the water. No wings, no propellers, just raw, pressurized water launching you into the sky. It looks like science fiction. It sounds impossible, but it's real, and it's changing the way we experience the water forever. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most thrilling innovations in modern water sports, hydraulic jetpacks. You've probably seen them on social media, rented them on vacation, or wondered how on earth someone stays aloft without a visible fuel source. If you've ever asked yourself, what's powering that thing? Or is it even safe? Stick around. We're breaking down the physics, the history, the real-world experience, and where this technology is headed next. Let's get airborne. What are they? First, let's clear up a common misconception. Despite the name, these aren't powered by hydraulic fluid or rocket fuel. They're hydroflight devices. The system starts with a personal watercraft, usually a jet ski sitting nearby on the water. PWC's engine drives an impeller that pulls in seawater and forces it out through a custom high-pressure hose, often 50 to 70 feet long. That hose connects to a harness worn by the rider, splitting into two nozzles at the boots or a unified thrust plate at the back. When water blasts downward at extreme velocity, Newton's third law kicks in. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The downward jet pushes the rider up. Simple physics, mind-blowing execution. How they work. Steering isn't about buttons or joysticks. It's about balance, body mechanics, and a handheld throttle. The rider holds a control that opens or closes a valve, regulating how much water pressure reaches the nozzles. More throttle, you rise. Less, you descend. But altitude is only half the equation. Direction comes from shifting your center of gravity. Lean forward, point your toes down slightly, and you glide ahead. Shift weight left or right, and the asymmetric thrust pivots you midair. Advanced riders can perform flips, spins, and even hover in place by micro-adjusting their stance and throttle in real time. It's less like flying a plane, and more like balancing on a fire hose that pushes back with 200 pounds of force. History and evolution. This didn't appear out of nowhere. The modern water jetpack was pioneered in 2011 by French inventor Franky Zapata, who originally built it as a prototype for water rescue and marine maintenance. He called it a Flyboard. Within 2 years, it was a global rental phenomenon. Other engineers quickly entered the space, refining nozzle geometry, adding quick-release safety valves, and developing jetboards and hydrofoil attachments that turned surface, riding into aerial acrobatics. What started as a niche thrill evolved into an entire subculture. Hydroflight leagues, professional demonstrations, and even rescue training programs. The tech matured fast because the core design was elegantly simple, yet endlessly adaptable. Safety and regulations. Now, let's address the obvious. It looks intense, and it is. But with proper setup, it's statistically safer than wakeboarding or snowmobiling. Why? Because you're tethered. The hose acts as a physical lifeline, and the PWC driver controls the baseline pressure. Professional operators enforce strict protocols, mandatory life jackets, impact helmets, age and weight minimums, and PRE flight briefings that cover hand signals, emergency shut-offs, and fall techniques. Most riders actually learn to stay aloft within 10 to 15 minutes. Regulations vary by country, but many coastal regions classify hydroflight devices as personal watercraft extensions, requiring licensed drivers, designated flight zones, and noise or wake mitigation. The key takeaway? Respect the learning curve, train with certified instructors, and never attempt solo setups without maritime certification. Real-world experience. I've ridden one, and I'll be honest, the first 3 seconds feel like your brain is recalibrating gravity. You're not fighting the water, you're negotiating with it. Once you find that neutral stance, it clicks. Suddenly, you're gliding over waves, doing gentle bank turns, feeling the spray like wind on your face. That's why it's exploded in tourism hubs from Dubai to the Caribbean to the Mediterranean. It's accessible. You don't need years of training. You just need curiosity, a willingness to trust the instructor, and a helmet that fits. For many, it's the closest thing to human flight without leaving the ground entirely. The future. So where does it go from here? The next wave is already in testing. Manufacturers are pairing hydroflight systems with electric personal watercraft, slashing emissions and cutting the deafening engine noise that once limited urban waterways. Engineers are experimenting with autonomous pressure regulation, smart valves that use gyroscopes and load sensors to auto-stabilize beginners. There are even prototype untethered systems using high-capacity battery pumps and compact impellers, though range and weight remain hurdles. Beyond recreation, we're seeing interest in coastal search and rescue, marine wildlife monitoring, and rapid personnel transfer on offshore platforms. As materials get lighter and pumps get smarter, hydroflight won't just be a vacation thrill, it could become a legitimate personal mobility tool. Hydraulic jetpacks, hydroflight devices, water jets, whatever you call them, they prove that human flight isn't confined to the sky. It's already here, hovering just above the water, waiting for you to step in. If you've ever ridden one, tell me your story in the comments. What was the hardest part, the best moment? And if you're thinking of trying it, drop your location below, I'll point you towards certified operators. If this video launched your curiosity as high as those water jets, hit subscribe. We drop deep dives into cutting-edge tech, real-world engineering, and the inventions shaping tomorrow every week. Tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next flight.